The issue of the sanctity of life is one of the core issues in my campaign, and it's an issue that I think underlies so many of the other aspects of our political dealings, and is an issue that we need to confront and we need to work with. Uh, life is precious, and both through religious teachings as well as scientific perspectives, life begins at conception. And because of that, abortions are an abridgment of that life. And in return, they are an abridgment of that child's liberty, their right to life, their right to, for instance, the ability to defend themselves against any wrongdoings. And in these instances, you're having an abortion, which is a abridgment of that child's right to life because that child's never done any wrong and therefore is innocent. We need to work to protect the life of the unborn child. And while so many conservative legislators across our state and across the nation mean well, and they work to pass legislation like was done in the recent session with the Woman's Right to Know bill, the Ethan's Law, which worked to protect against abortions whenever, or rather against crimes where someone commits a crime against a mother who is pregnant and it makes them guilty of two crimes. While those bills are good pieces of legislation that work to protect life, we tend to try to sidestep the core issue, the root issue, because many legislators are afraid of what that would mean and what that means they would have to confront. And that's the decision of the U.S. Supreme Court in Roe v. Wade. As your legislator, I believe that that is an issue that I will work to tackle because we cannot truly defend liberty if we do not defend life. And for that reason, I have a proposal which I released recently, which is called the Sanctity of Life Act, which would work to end abortions in our state by first defining that life begins at conception and that to end that life prematurely is an act of murder and punishable as such in our state. And it does such by giving several reasons why the case or the Supreme Court case of Roe v. Wade cannot and does not properly apply in our state. Two main reasons being, one, federal government has no rightful jurisdiction over issues of criminal legal statutes. Those issues, except for a few enumerated issues in the U.S. Constitution, are given to the states to decide. And then secondly, the Supreme Court's decision in Roe v. Wade can only rightly apply to the statutes in Texas, which the case was against, because the states that did not have a right to participate in that case cannot be held to go by that decision whenever their laws were not suspect and their laws were not able to be defended in those cases. North Carolina has a right, and I believe a duty, to stand up for the right to life of the unborn child who can't defend themselves and work to ensure that life is protected. And then we can move on to the next issues when it comes to liberty, privacy, and other issues that need to be worked on, which we'll work on at the same time. But this is an issue that if we cannot defend that life, if we cannot respect life, then I don't believe we can expect to defend the other liberties that our citizens enjoy and that are protected under our United States and North Carolina state constitution. Life is precious, and we have to defend life. And as your representative, I will stand up for life as a major priority for me if elected and given that opportunity by the people of this county.